listening to these fellow citizens. First of all, a very quick one on Wanjiru. What Farah Maalim said today, additional to what he had said before, when he said he would kill young Kenyans for exercising their constitutional right to demonstrate, to picket in accordance with Article 37 of our Constitution. What he has gone on to say today is alarming, and I'm just wondering whether Mheshimiwa Farah is out of his mind. You can't abuse Kenyans na kushikanisha na mama. Ni mambo ya ajabu hearing something like it. So I condemn it in the strongest terms possible. And since he was saying this in the presence of President William Ruto, and Ruto did not even hold him and tell him, hey, Mheshimiwa, even if you want to support me, this is not the way to do it. So clearly, we had as a party, because unfortunately in our books, Honorable Farah Maalim appears as a deputy party leader. I can assure you, before the end of this year, we will have had our national convention of the party, and I can assure you there is no way Mheshimiwa Farah Maalim can get a single vote from the party that I'm honored to lead as a party leader. In the meantime, we've referred the matter to the party's disciplinary committee, and I'm sure it is handling that. But after today's outrageous utterances, I would advise him to resign from the party. He doesn't have to wait to be thrown out. Now, this is a kind of fresh air we are going to have to exercise in our country. I hope this gives some comfort to our sister Wanjiru. And she was complaining. She was saying this is personal. I apologize. She doesn't have to apologize, because what Honorable Farah Maalim did today was shameful, to say the least. Now, Dr. Milton, I really enjoyed listening to you, Bwana Nyakundi. How proud am I that I have spent quite a bit of time. In fact, if there was such a thing as a political leader, a professional leader, Dr. Milton, I've seen it all. I've seen leadership from every angle. I've listened even when I was deputy speaker. People forget the one time I was, for a full period of 5 years, I was deputy speaker in the National Assembly. And I listened to Kenyan leaders, from people like Martin Shikuku, the People's Watchman, and to other people. People like Adings Kodek. I didn't find Kodek in parliament. But there were people who were serious leaders. People like Matiba, for example. Matiba was a rich man, but he didn't hide it. He didn't hide it. He elaborated clearly how he made his wealth, because you not expect that also leaders are not supposed to grow their wealth portfolios. But there are others like Robert Ouko, a professional minister for foreign affairs, after whom I actually learned so much. I mean, after whom I came into office. And people again who are in the area of our diplomacy, countries' diplomacy, giving a clear direction on what this country stands for in terms of our international relations. These days, you get our men thrown into Haiti with absolutely no consideration whatsoever. Gang Sorry about this. Are you still there?
Yes, we are here. We can hear you.
The people try to interfere with this phone.
Okay.
I have come out, for example, to say we have sent our men on military assignments, peacekeeping missions in the past, to countries like Angola, to Mozambique, to other. These countries work for international peace. That has been one of my preoccupations during my professional time. I'm very proud of what I've done over the years to, for example, make sure that we end up with the world's newest state, the Republic of South Sudan. Never mind, they're also facing big challenges. But this took a serious intervention as a foreign minister. And of course, also working in the region in Somalia. I've even tried to help our people in Burundi, and more recently, in fact, in the DRC, helping President Kabila and Felix Tshisekedi to form a coalition government. the continent of Africa is really bedeviled with a lot of political challenges. But then, as a person, I think I've honestly played my role in the ministries that I was given to lead. And even as vice president, no, Kenyans may not remember, for example, that as Minister for Education, I actually outlawed corporal punishment in our schools, in keeping with what the world, of course, has come to look at children's rights and what have you. But sometimes you have this thing about collective responsibility, the doctrine of collective responsibility. And when that happens, then you end up with a breakdown in terms of political responsibility. I'm addressing you, Dr. Nyakundi, because you're saying, can I take responsibility for some of those failures? Indeed, when a country goes wrong, and we end up losing people in trouble clashes and others, you feel it. But you cannot run away because you're not running the country alone. Yeah? And that you cannot even, I think others think, the double speak by the political elite. Some of us over the years have come to be who we are. And I want you to trust me that you will never hear going forward or at all a situation where I can be compromised. I've never been compromised. And therefore, really, Duncan Onyango, Daktari, I'm happy that you're able to see, to make sure that we bring sanity in our country and to stop these very unfortunate abductions. Kibet Bull is safely now home, and even Senator Okia Omtata, who is your political colleague, we will appreciate that I had to go down there to the police cells and to assure him that we are not going to allow him to suffer injustice. That's why we were able to get him out with a mere 1,000 shillings bond. We are determined to make the difference. Don't worry about the culture of handshake. You know, this is very troubling because I can understand you, Onyango, Duncan, when you say an old Maasai man told you we cannot elect Raila or Ruto or Kalonzo. Of course, obviously, I've been Raila's running mate for 10 political years, and I think that's why they associate. So it's a case of guilty by association. But the time has come to stand in solidarity with the Kenyan people so that Kenyans are able to see the real Kalonzo Musyoka, not one who is seen from the lens of Raila or Ruto or Moi or other people. Therefore, I want to assure you that you can trust me. They say that the proof of the pudding is actually in the eating. Now, a few things have been asked about Babayao. I gather you, Bwana Mwangi, famous economist, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think you tried to run for Governor Kiambu. Listening to Babayao, because there's a principle also in law, because we cannot really, if we are going to be to imbue in our citizens the ethos about constitutionalism, we must also accept the law of natural justice, which says that no person can be condemned unheard, and everybody is seen to be innocent until they are proven guilty. If you listen to Babayao, he'll tell you actually the reason he was impeached as Governor Kiambu was because he was supporting William Ruto. And the other guys on the other side didn't seem to like that. Now, if there are cases that are pending in court, what I can do, I can assure you, if Babayao is found guilty of corruption, believe you me, he will not find in me a very good colleague. Because then at that point, they'll tell him, you know, Babayao, this is the law, this is it. You made the appeal, and therefore, you know, nobody is able to listen to you. But as of now, give him the benefit of the doubt. Let him be able to explain himself to the Kenyan people. Therefore, do not say that if he's seen in a political press conference, then Kalonzo becomes also guilty by association. I want to assure you, my friends, that the time has come to redeem our country. Real time. And the real leaders must now stand up. From the Gen Zs to the millennials, to even the older people like Kalonzo Musyoka, who are determined to hand over this country to the younger people as a country we can be proud of. Right now, it's a country in shambles. And we'll be calling out everybody, calling out William Ruto and his administration, calling them out. We will not, one of the criticisms has been, oh, you people in opposition say so much, but you do not offer any solutions. Were we not able to offer a solution when we said no to the Andani takeover of the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport? That was a very loud no, and we demonstrated it by going to court. As senior counsel, I want to tell you, I will not hesitate taking positions, even some of the briefs pro bono, like I did, of course, for Kia Mutata and friends there, pro bono, to be able to get the right and the progressive forces coming out to stand and be counted at a very critical time, at such a time as this. We would not want this country to collapse. We will do our best. But of course, I also agree, and I think Raila himself said it, if he did not come to the rescue of William Ruto, we would be having a different situation. But that is for Raila himself to deal with if you're able to catch up with him. So stop there and assure all these colleagues, and I know the others who are concerned, but to be honest with you, the utterance by Farah Maalim deserves absolute condemnation by all of us who love this country. And even if he wants to support William Ruto up to 2032, that is his business. Let him do so. But let him do so without abusing Kenyans and abusing Kenyan mothers. Kenyan mothers deserve respect. In days like this, when we have a lot of cases of femicide, for example, we cannot really stand in silence when we are seeing some derogation of basic people's rights, like the rights of the mothers and Kenyans in general. I hope you are still there, my friend.
We are here. Yeah, Mheshimiwa, we are listening.
I'm actually getting worked up
Okay,
because,
yes.
and as I said, it's very refreshing to listen to Dr. Duncan Onyango, Dr. Nyakundi. Nyakundi started by saying he wanted only 2 minutes. I think he addressed us for about 10, but that's okay. I learned a lot. But I also want to say one thing,
Yes.
that when I ran for election in 2007, I was the only presidential candidate who declared my wealth. And I'm still very open. I'm very open about these things. But I'm also a professional. I have a law firm called Musyoka Murambi and Associates, all right? And if I earn legal fees, of course, William Ruto overtaxes them, overtaxes everything. I never understood how you can, charge value tax on VAT on professional services. But there we are. So we earn a little money, and we have to educate our children. We have to also make sure we allow families to grow. So it is not that when you become a politician, you should end up a pauper. But I think enough to keep you going, to raise up your family, and to, in the case of somebody like me, to bequeath future generations a country that is under the rule of law, of course, a country that also fears God, and a country that is going to be devoid of these chest thumpers. Chest thumpers. I've never seen this culture of people just chest thumping, and they can call anybody any name, anytime. I want to tell you, I'll be there for the Kenyan people.
Thank you so much, Mheshimiwa.
Thank you.
I don't know how many minutes do you have because I want to give ladies now. I see ladies coming on platform. I don't know how many minutes you want to add us before we wind up.
Hillary, can I just ask for 1 or
10
2 minutes
minutes?
just so
Okay, 15 minutes at the top of the hour. So, Bonnie, as you come in,
Okay.
I ask you a question, then Rose Reseko, then Dolphin, in that order. Bonnie, go ahead.
Bonnie, just
thank
keep
you.
it to 1 minute,
Honorable,
please. Thank you.
we'll do that. Thank you so much for your
Is he there?
responses.
I can
Can
hear
you
you,
hear
Bonnie.
me?
Go ahead.
Awesome. So, Mr. Musyoka, the question that I was posing to you have to do with credibility and authenticity. And I ask you why you think Kenyans should trust you when you stand there in a press conference with a known thief of public resources. I have done a serious study on everything that took place when Babaya was governor of Kiambu County. Perhaps you haven't seen it, but I can tell you that if there is ever a poster boy for corruption and everything that's wrong with Kenyan politics, it is Babaya. The last person who deserves a second chance and the benefit of the doubt is Babaya. And I'm puzzled that you will urge Kenyans to look at an individual like that and say, cut him some slack. Wait for our court system to determine that he's a known criminal. I mean, we know that our system of justice doesn't work. An individual like that steals from the most vulnerable in our community, bribes his way through the court system, and is still a viable politician in our country. And people that are asking Kenyans to trust him do not have the ability, the foresight to be able to tell people that should not go anywhere near public resources. That's puzzling to me, and it's surprising to me. And I say that with all due respect. I'm just going to give you a couple of data points to kind of drive home the reason why I believe that there's a gap between the young people in Kenya and the old guard of Kenyan politics. I'm going to give you a couple of data points, and I'll be very brief about your own county of Kitui. And I see Governor Wavinya Ndeti is here, so I'll give you a couple of data points about Machakos. Again, I'll be very brief. Your county of Kitui has a population of 1.1 million. It's got a 55% poverty rate, 63% literacy rate. It's a poor county. The average citizen there makes about $10,000 shillings a month. With a 55% poverty rate, your county spends 10% of its budget on NCAs alone. Okay, 10%. The Kitui County spent 97 million on foreign travel in 2022-2023. It spent 420 million on foreign travel, a total of 517. It gave the MCAs 233 million in cars and another 14 million in allowances. So that county alone, just on a few people, the county has about 55 MCAs. You spend 764 million on them, luxury. And then look at how much money that county spent on education. 200 and actually zero shillings on education and bursaries in the whole county. So you spend 764 million on yourself, you spend nothing on the citizens. Give you a couple of data points about Machakos.
Bonnie,
36% poverty
can
rate.
we land, please, and give it on the chat? We only have 15 minutes
Yes.
to do, and we'll appreciate. Thank you.
Understood. Understood. So Machakos spent 747 million between cars for the governor, MCAs, and travel, and then it spent 80 million on education and bursaries for the whole county. That's the problem that we have in our country today. And all these Kenyans that are on this call understand that issue. And our politicians, in my honest opinion, do not understand that issue. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Bonnie, for your comment. Let's go to the ladies, and then we go to Anwar and Senator Babu.
Yes,
Thank you.
go on. Rose, how are you doing today? Welcome.
I'm okay. I'm doing well. Thank you very much. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
I'm honored to join this important discussion and connect with you fellow Kenyans who are passionate about developing a better future for our beloved nation. Honorable Kalonzo, your unwavering dedication to integrity, justice, and unity has been a source of inspiration for many, including myself. Allow me to possess two questions that I believe will highlight your strength and offer clarity on your vision for Kenya. My number one question: you've been a steadfast advocate for peace and national cohesion. How do you plan to leverage your track record of promoting unity to bridge the deep division in our country and foster a truly inclusive Kenya? My number two question is, your commitment to servant leadership is well known. What unique qualities and values do you believe to set you apart as the leader who can steer Kenya towards economic recovery and restore hope for millions of struggling Kenyans? Thank you for your leadership and for engaging with us tonight. We are eager to hear your insight. Sorry, guys, I've got a bit of cold. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Rose, for that, and we are quick recovery for that cold. Dolphin, are you here? Yes, we need more ladies also to ask question. We don't say that this platform is more. We want young people, ladies to come in. Dolphin, go ahead. Dolphin. Oh, Dolphin dropped. Okay, Senator Ken Babu. Abdi, can you hear me? Honorable, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes, I can hear you. Thank you. Okay, Senator Babu, are you here? All right, I think you have connection issues. Anwar?
Hey, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Hilary, Abdi, the Honorable Kalonzo, and the rest of the members here. Uh, One of the things that is very important that I think for most of the observers